What's being in New Orleans with Nick Cage?
Yeah, that's gotta be. Did you get a lot of time with him, or is it?
He's like incredible. He has a pet crow.
Tickets are on sale for KFC Radio Live. Click the link in the bio. Get yours. Come out and hang with the boys.
Holy shit. Holy fucking shit. Ho, 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 ho.
Oh, what's up, Daddy?
What's up?
What's going on?
Oh, my goodness. What an absolute joy. What a beautiful joy. The boys are back. Everybody's happy.
We've had the longest day, and the only thing getting me through it was, you know what, we got Ben at the end of the day.
If this was any other interview to cap off this day, I would have been like, cancel it. We're not doing it.
5:30 p.m. You guys have obviously been through a shitty day, and here we go.
You can see it on our faces. Let's go. What do you think, first of all? Can you get a good shot of the Mess's hair?
The Mess's hair is looking fine. I'm always rooting for the Mess. I've been a big fan of the Mess and Taylor Swift's journey. Huge fan of it. Big fan of him trying to reach his dreams and show his full potential. And I'm the bun is a choice, and it's fine. What does it look like? Unravel? Can you unravel it?
Show him the full effect. Give him, you know what he looks like? The bad guy from the "How do you like them apples" argument in Good Will Hunting. He looks like that guy.
Exactly right.
He was always quite aspirational for me. I was like,
this is a really good question for you. So, John is a part of a new sketch comedy show at Barstool. 1 episode in, rousing success. When I tell you that it was the most positively received and reviewed thing in Barstool history, a place that we know can be toxic, where everybody, even the diehard fans, are like, fuck you, that sucked. I'm talking like 99% success rate. Everybody loved it. Episode 2 comes out. Probably might even be out by the time we're listening to this. So it's now a big project for him. And it seems like there's a 50-50 split between people working on the show that he should have the long hair because it just opens up more doors to this guy has a ponytail and this guy has crazy
characters.
Hair. Or John was
he could play like the son of, remember Revenge of the Nerds? What was the jock in Revenge of the Nerds? What was his name?
I don't know. I don't remember, but I know the look. Yeah, it has that potential. But you were kind of saying you want to just be like a clean cut normal guy.
It's easier to be an everyman,
right,
with regular hair.
Like now he's a.
Wait, what's the sketch show? What are the sketches? What are the sketch? Do you guys write the sketches and you perform it? The Mess, are you a great actor? I wouldn't be surprised if you can really act.
Ben, I'm not kidding. He hates when I do this and he clams up.
I bet he's good.
He is phenomenal. I genuinely think if life had just gone a different way and he did it more like classically trained or whatever, he would have been an actor and still has time to be. He's a legitimate actor.
That's very nice of you to say. Thank you.
What does it feel like when you're doing sketches, The Mess? Does it feel great? That's like, for me, when I do comedy, it feels different than when I'm doing other things. Does it feel like you're in your zone? Does it feel like you're in the place you're supposed to be?
He's going to get so uncomfortable.
No, I can honestly answer it. No, it feels slightly different, but it feels more or less when I'm doing the podcast where I'm like, I guess, where I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. It feels slightly different. I feel like I get the same feeling, the same satisfaction. It just feels like it's coming in a different hole.
Whoa!
Got it.
Whoa! Okay.
Got it. You're stretching out.
Like it's just coming in in a different way. But yeah, I still feel I don't know. It's just making people laugh. Like if we're doing the sketch and no one laughs, it feels really bad.
No,
but
dude, these are so the first episode was 3 unbelievable skits. The first one, him and another guy here, stand-up comedian Lil Sass, they're a gay couple who thought that they were getting a black boy and they got a white girl.
Right? We're still upset about.
They were a little upset about that.
So do you guys? My assumption is just hearing what the first thing is. Do you guys? How many people have you offended with just the premise?
Honestly,
of the first
not
thing?
Because it's not I've had no feedback in that's offensive because we don't take great care to do that. But I think we know what the joke is supposed to be about.
It's not done in a malicious racist funny. It's more like their reactions of being like, huh, we didn't think it was gonna be. That it's done in a very.
I'm very interested to watch this. I'm very interested to watch. What if this is the beginning of the Mess's acting career, and this is the beginning of it for real? Someone sees him in these sketches, and then cut to literally 2 years from now, he's doing The Departed 2. And
Yeah,
we're all like,
yeah.
this is insane.
Dude,
This
they
is
do
crazy.
one where it's a Chris Hansen To Catch a Predator sort of setup, but the Predator is John, and he wore like a big muscle suit, so Chris Hansen is afraid to go confront him. They all came out so good, and I'm hearing that episode 2 is like even better than the first. But as far as this hair thing, as someone who's done it, I can kind of see both sides of the argument where if he wants to blend in as just a regular character and he's got this crazy long hair.
You even had both hairs. You've had the
We've had it
John
all.
Ralphio, and you've
Yeah.
I watched there's this is randomly unlocking an incredible story. When I first moved, so I was living in New York, and I used to buzz my own hair. I used to use like clippers and put a number on it and just do it myself.
Mhm.
And then I moved to LA, and I didn't have anybody to cut my hair, and I didn't bring my whatever's with me. And then I auditioned for a pilot called Happiness Isn't Everything, which is Mitch Hurwitz. He did Arrested Development. This was going to be his next show.
Wow.
And they said for the callback of the screen test, my hair was enormous, and I was so embarrassed how crappy it was. It'd never been that big. And I told Mitch, I go, I will cut my hair. I'm so sorry. And he goes, you will not. You are not allowed to
No,
cut your
sir.
hair. Your hair is big, so big now that it gives you your character. Now you're like you're like you look different than other people that are coming in, and we
Yeah.
love the way it looks. So that was the first time ever I grew out my hair, and that's what I've been doing since then because he told me to.
Your hair, like, it keeps going up. It doesn't fall down ever. It looks like it just goes and goes. Like
It's
yours-
Judaism.
I guess so. Yeah, the Jew fro. It's not like a
Well,
Jew
you
fro.
had-
It's because it's not curly. But there was a time, I guess, probably during pandemic, where it was like crazy.
But even like John
It got
Ralphio was
bad.
crazy long.
Yeah.
Your hair. Would you say your hair is iconic?
Ooh.
I
Like,
would
I-
not say that. No,
Well,
I'd
like,
allow-
even-
I
but I
would-
mean,
I
like,
would never
even-
say that.
You get to the level where the hot new it actor, he doesn't have his own hair. He has your hair. Like it happened with Steve. Is it Steve? What's his name in Stranger Things? Steve. Yeah. Right.
Steve Harrington.
Steve Harrington. Yeah.
Oh, right. That people said that he had hair like mine. By the way,
Where-
best guy in the world, Joe Keery, incredible
he's
guy,
awesome.
wonderful guy.
If you know him, can you put it in a word that he should come do our show? Because I love him and I think he does want to do our show.
I just got him to do an improv show of mine. He sat in
Oh,
and
wow.
was like the guest in one of my improv shows, and he was amazing. He was the
Yeah.
best. I love him so much.
He's a cool cat.
I'm still very thankful. We talked about this the other day, actually. So you saying improv reminded me of it. I'm still very thankful for you. The first time we ever had you on the show, you're promoting Middleditch Schwartz, and I had never seen improv, and you were like, "Don't watch it until you see this," and I was like, "Okay." And I watched it, and it's like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life.
But you know what's funny
You
about
were,
that?
you guys
just
were
talking about-
amazing after that. By the way, you guys were so kind. The way that you broke it down and the way that it affected you was amazing. And then we messaged about you guys maybe writing and stuff like that, or just like
Yeah.
we messaged for a little bit after that also, which was very exciting.
Well, that's
Yeah. That was a like I made it moment. I exchanged emails with Ben Schwartz about
writing.
writing.
you
I
know
was like,
what,
"Holy shit, this
I
is crazy."
I think we were talking about writing a cartoon, but that didn't kind of develop. But this sketch thing did, and I think it was kind of an example of like just get the ball, like just do things.
Yeah.
Because maybe the cartoon that we were talking about didn't happen, but out of order does, and like
I do think it definitely opened my eyes to being like, oh, we don't, and we've always known that in our world, but it was like, oh, like we can do other things, and I definitely do think I think if we don't exchange those emails, that sketch show, or maybe I'm not interested in that sketch show, or maybe I don't do it
really
or anything
matters.
like that. And
do you guys find competition within each other because you have a thing as each other, and then now sometimes people go apart? Kevin always seems very pro the mess. I will say that you're very good. You're a very good cheerleader, Kev. But it's like, do you feel like when you guys do something, the other person has some success? Is there a little bit of FOMO because together you built something, or no? That doesn't quite. What does it feel like for real?
I mean, this truly, by a couple different metrics, is like one of the most successful launched things ever at this company. There's been a lot of big hits, and I found through his show that we're about to kind of launch like a new branch of Barstool that's hopefully like a talent place where we're like acquiring other new acts and stuff like that, and I'm hoping to kind of be at the head of that. And I learned how much more I enjoy pumping up other people's work than my own.
Oh, wow.
Hate promoting my own videos or or blogs or whatever, being like, this is really funny, like you should watch it, because I just don't want to talk about myself, and who am I to say if I think something I did was funny. But when they do it, and I believe it, if I really think it's funny, I was like posting it everywhere and interacting. I was sending them. They were all nervous about it, so I was sending them all the screenshots of like the good feedback, being like, no, they love you. So that, I don't know. Maybe if he goes on and wins some Oscars, I'll be upset. But right now, I'm like the number one hype man. I fucking love it.
Well,
I
as
love
for
it.
the other side of the coin, Kevin actually has the most popular video series at Barstool, and I get super jealous of it.
Is that true?
But I do like 1 Minute Man's like a news update, pop culture, current events. Here's the news story you need to know, and then I put in a couple, a little bit of editorial in it. But that's more. It's popular because it's like new, people spreading around like the.
Can I
big
ask a
news
question
and
that I
too.
absolutely can't ask because this is probably you can't whatever, but do you guys get bonuses on accordance to how many views you get? No, or it's just
No.
whatever you create, you create. It's not like whoever has the most popular gets the most money. It's hey, the ideas, we're artists, we're making things. Whatever hits. Let's all do it as a team. Or is it like,
Yeah,
oh my
well,
God, John's sketch crushed. Now we gotta to get him to, or how does it work?
I mean, early on, it was just like salary and everything you do in your entire life. We own your work, we own your girlfriend, we own your house. It was like everything Barstool. I think as we've gotten bigger, I don't know what other people might what their deals might be, but I think there's like revenue. It's not views and popularity based, but it's like if your brand makes XYZ dollars and
Got
it
it.
beats this goal, then you get a bonus based on that. But it's not like if you get lucky or you have 10 million views that you get paid based
Got
on
it. Got
that.
it. Got it.
Which
Kevin, for the actual answer to Kevin's for videos and do we get jealous of each other and stuff like that, my answer is the exact opposite, and not out of any kindness. It is out of like, fuck yes, Kevin's gonna get famous, and then I don't have to do anything. like,
my
then
You're
I don't
always
even have
looking
to
for
sit-
a way out. You're
Like,
always
like,
trying
we're
to get
gonna
out
get
of the
so
game.
many new like 1 Minute Man got 3 million views yesterday. We get so many new listeners. I didn't do shit.
that is kind of you to say, but I don't. I would drop 1 Minute Man to do what you do, like in a heartbeat. I think that is the funniest. That level of humor, like, because I think there's a very big difference between this podcasting and being funny on a podcast, being funny, kind of just on a radio show, off the cuff, talking. Here's my thoughts on a current event with a little boom joke, versus like we wrote a script. There's a character. I'm gonna deliver the words this way, and it's gonna come together like that. To me, maybe it's because I loved Chappelle Show growing up. Maybe
I think it's also scarier. I think so. Like I always like
totally
whenever I write a script or write like when I used to write sketches, it's like as opposed to when I do improv, it's so much scarier because in improv we're making it up on the spot, and you know that we're doing it like whatever happens happens. But when I write a sketch or when I write a script for a company, I'm saying this is what I find funny. I
yes,
spent a long time on this to make this as good as I think it could be, and now I'm giving it to you. But like when I'm doing improv or if I'm just talking and doing bits on a podcast, it's like we're all just messing around. There's no real
totally,
like. It's
I
like this
always
is you know what I mean.
yeah,
I always thought about that, and this is back a little while ago. We used to write like blogs and things like that, where we'd write a ton of blogs every day, every hour, every half hour, whatever it would be. We'd write a lot of blogs, and I'd be nervous putting those out, and I put a half hour into work of it, and
Of
I would
course,
always,
yeah.
I'd think about like what Taylor Swift feels, and like I spent 2 years writing this
right,
album, or
right.
a movie writer or a show writer. It's like I put my heart and soul into this. It's not like I saw a headline, I gave my 2 cents on it, posted it. I'd be nervous about how that's received. Whereas with someone
But
like you
also,
putting in the kind of work you put in.
if that one bombs, you have in an hour you're putting another one
Right,
up, and
right,
maybe
right,
that
right.
one's funny, so you can kind of sweep it under the rug. If you put
Right.
2 years of your life into an album or a movie or show and it bombs, it's like I just wasted a couple years of my prime.
Right.
Like that's
Or
crazy.
it doesn't get made. Like so many
Yeah,
times I've been
that's gotta be
hired
crazy.
and written movies, and then to hire us. Oh wait, John's checking his text. Give me a second. I'll let him finish.
No, I'm not taking my text.
Sorry, he's just wait. I'll wait for him to finish. So when like I'll sell something and write something, and then to pay me to write something costs so little money, but to make it costs millions and millions of dollars. So I'll spend a year or two writing something, get it through all the lines all the studios want, and then when they're done, they could just be like, yeah, we're not going to invest $30 million in this or $25 million, or if it's a TV show, it's like $80 million. So it's like it's such a tough thing, and then it just disappears. It just goes on the sideline until one day, hopefully, like Chris Pratt reads it one day, like 10 years later, being
Likes
like, I
it.
want to do this
Yeah.
movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that something do you write with that in your mind? Like, I don't want to spend too much money. Like, do you choose settings based on how that would affect the budget, or do you
That's
write
an
what's in
incredible
your head?
question. I do now. So when I write a movie for, like, there's a movie that I was going to direct over the pandemic, but it didn't work out. But it's like that I made the budget low enough where I could star in it and I can direct it and I can get the funding from people, and we were all set. And then when I'm writing a movie for other places, sometimes if I keep the budget low enough, the risk is low enough that maybe they'll take a chance.
Yeah.
But then there are other companies that don't mind paying the money and it doesn't matter. But
So we're
if
set on
I'm
the
pitching
surface
myself
of
as
Mars,
the-
and we're going to be on a spaceship,
Yeah.
and we got guns.
Yeah.
You know, you can do whatever you want. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very good at making sure I push those things away. And if I'm pitching myself as the lead, I won't make the budget so high where it scares people off. Because in my head, I'm not a movie star yet. I may be able to be, acting on a bunch of TV movie stuff, but I'm not like, I can't greenlight a movie that easily. But if I keep the budget low and I write it funny and I write roles for really good people around me, now I've made it really. Now I can make the business people happy and the creative people happy. So you kind of try to learn how to do all that.
That's a tough balance. I talk about this clip all the time. But I watched, and I think Kevin's seen it now too. But a clip of Rob McElhenney and Charlie Day talking. It was on their podcast, on the Sunny podcast, and they were talking about the writing of that. And Charlie was talking about how he hates writing for. He hates hearing like a setting or something like that, and then writing just so they
Right.
can be in that setting. He's like, I just want to write the story, because he was talking about. It's funny how they were like fighting on the show, but Rob had the idea to be in Ireland for the most recent season, and he was like, I
Yeah.
hated that, like, which is crazy to see them be like. He's like, I don't like when you're like, I want to be fat, right? For me being fat for this whole season.
Yeah.
He's like, that pisses me off. Like, that's, and then they start arguing. They're like, I want to fight right now. But he's like, I don't like you choosing my setting and being like, right to make. He's like, no, I want to write my story and I want to have the setting in the place that makes sense.
Right.
And I guess you
Yeah.
probably go through a similar thing with.
I think it's sometimes easier when it's a blank page. You can do whatever you want. But then also, if someone like forces you to be like, hey, you have to write this in an office, 3 episodes in an office. You're like, okay, what would I do? What would I do if I'm forced to do this? Or if I'm like, if I don't have the CG to make this, what's a different thing instead of a big monster because I don't have the money for it? What can I make the scary creature in this? So it kind of just, I don't know. I think the goal at the beginning is just to write what you want to write and find like what's fun and then figure it out from there. Because if you're not passionate about what you're writing, you're going to hate it. Writing is hard and takes forever. So it's like, if you're not enjoying it, you're going to feel every minute of it.
Did you see? This is switching gears a little bit, but you mentioned the monster. Did you see Spielberg's comments recently about the Jaws?
I actually did, but I forget them. I just saw like
the
it's-
Jaws.
No, what was it?
The original idea was supposed to have the Jaws animatronic monster in the movie. Like, you know how famously Jaws is only on screen for like 7 minutes?
Yeah, because it broke.
He was like, the whole movie was supposed to be a fucking shark, swimming around. They tested it in a pool, and then when they did it in salt water, the fucking machine broke. The shark didn't work, and they were like, "Oh, we don't have the shark anymore."
Really?
So he
That's the
reworked
same
everything.
with they like in Indiana Jones. You know that scene where the guy comes and has a sword with Indiana
Yeah.
Raiders, and he's like, "Da, da, 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 da," and then Indiana Jones just takes out his gun and shoots him.
Yeah.
It's because I think Harrison Ford like had the flu or something that day and only had like a take in him, and he's like, "I got to go home." And so they just, instead of doing this whole stunt choreography, they just did that. And
which
that
is
was that whole
so
thing.
much better to me than another fight scene.
Same with Jaws. Jaws being like you
Yeah.
barely see the thing makes the tension so exciting the whole time.
But that, like, the Indiana Jones thing is like a one-off scene. The thing about Jaws,
I know.
and famously,
That would
is
have been terrifying.
and
Yeah.
and Spielberg was ready to be like, no, we were gonna put the shark on camera every second.
Does that kind of
Yeah.
stuff, does that inspire you more? Or does that almost make you think like it's all fucking
It's all just
luck?
a
like it's
crapshoot,
all
yeah.
we're walking a knife's edge between fucking brilliance and disaster.
Yeah.
That inspires me. The idea that he was a director was the biggest thing in his movie was taken from him right before shooting, and the movie's called Jaws,
Yeah.
and he was able to whatever.
Yeah.
That I find so inspiring. Same with the Indiana Jones. Okay, we can't get him for the whole day. He's not feeling well. What can we do? How can we make this whatever? Let's make the best situation out of this. I feel like Lord and Miller are really good at that shit. They always make like they're so good at like everything they do like seems so funny and natural, and in the moment they like play with it. When I did the after party with them, I like loved being directed by Chris. But it's like I love that stuff, finding the new stuff, because also that's like where my improv brain goes. What's
Yeah.
happening in this moment? What can we make funniest in this moment? How can all of us together make something fun together? So
Yeah.
I'm all about all that stuff.
The new movie, Renfield, feels.
Did you guys watch it? They sent it to you or no?
We got the
So the answer
trailer.
is no.
No, I can never access those things. Every time I send them, I have a password that doesn't work, or it's not compatible on my computer, or whatever. So
I think you guys will like this movie very much. I think you guys will
this
like.
looks
It's
right
like
up.
gory. It's horror. It's really funny. It's really fucked up. It's Nick Cage. I think you guys will really like the movie.
Yeah,
It is. I've seen the trailer many a times. I'm a big movie guy, so I still go to the movies all the time. And the trailer. The trailer's been happening for a while. It feels like. Was
Yeah.
the date ever pushed?
I think they gave you a month ago. They had one, and then they just released it a little bit ago, and then it comes
looks
out on Friday.
It looks genuinely fucking awesome. So this will be Thursday's episode, right? It looks like genuinely right up my alley. As you said, you know me.
I
very
think you'll
well,
dig
Ben.
it.
You know me very well.
I think it's up your alley. Like it feels like something like I'm happy you're a part of it, because it's kind of this quirky take on a like a classic. You know what I mean? That just seems like a fun variation of it. That like it.
And
at
I
least
get to play a bad guy. Like I get to shoot guns, and I had to like work out and learn fight choreography, and like I had to like do all these crazy
you did
things.
fight
and, like,
choreography?
I get full fight scenes. I was on pulleys. I was like, I get shot. I had squibs all over me. I got to be a bad guy for the first time in my life.
Why don't you?
It was. I have tattoos like all up my body for the whole thing.
I was gonna say, why don't you pop the top off? Why don't you pop the top off and show us your workout body, your bad guy body?
No one will appreciate this more than you two. So so beforehand, they're like, yeah, we need you here 3 weeks beforehand for stunt choreography. And I'm like, 3 weeks? Are you crazy? But I went there and I worked out beforehand. The stunt guy gave me like a workout regimen. And I was like, I'm in okay shape, but they got me in stronger shape. And then the second I was done with my fight scenes, we filmed in New Orleans. Throughout this movie, I slowly gain weight, so you can see my character slowly gaining weight because I didn't have to work out anymore, and also the food there is so good in New Orleans.
Yeah.
So it's like you slowly see my character like slowly no longer like you're like, oh, this guy's like letting himself go a little bit as the movie goes. But at the beginning, I was like under the weight I'd been in. I like lost more weight and was leaner than I'd been in a long time. And
They
then
changed.
Nobody will know. Nobody would know.
They changed the weight, whatever you call it, barriers for the pulleys you were on. They're like, oh,
yeah. They're like, we started with like little tiny ones. At the end, there were these big bungee cords that could barely hold me back.
How long were you down there for? It's my favorite city in America by far.
Really? What are your spots there?
I mean, I don't know it like that, but like my best friend in high school.
Didn't you go? I feel like didn't you message me? You were going down there, and I gave you some food recommendations.
Yes,
No.
yes.
Yeah,
I was going down for a wedding, and then like I ended up doing wedding things. Though it was crazy of me to ask for recommendations because wait, was that why you were there?
No time.
I
was
messaged you because
filming.
you
You
would have
seen
New Orleans.
me in full tattoo if you saw me.
I didn't even think. I don't think I would. How would I have known? But I knew you'd been in New Orleans for a while, so I was like, "Yo, what were the spots?" And that was just a stupid question for me to ask as someone who was in the bridal party. Like I didn't get to do anything I wanted. I was fucking doing bridal party stuff the whole time.
Being tattooed for the movie. Thinking about doing it in real life?
No way. I can't commit. And also, my tattoos were insane. It was like a wolf howling at the moon, and like and the New Orleans. Like it was like so many and like a bunch of like gravestones and teardrops of all the people that I killed in this movie, and it's like so much crazy stuff.
If Ben Schwartz had teardrop tattoos in real life, and right now, if you just went out and got like 3 inked on your face,
I could never do it. I think I can't commit to one thing. I don't think I'd love it on my body for the rest of my life. I just don't have that faith in myself.
I always say,
if you ask me, it'd be like Calvin and Hobbes when I was younger. I was like, but now if I'm like a 41-year-old man with a Calvin and Hobbes thing, I don't know.
I think it's the worst.
I've always said that it's like I have a few tattoos, not a ton, but a couple, and I say that it's like losing your virginity, where like the first one you're like, this has to mean something. And by the end, you're like, do whatever the fuck you want to me. Like, I don't care at all. And I actually talked to a guy recently who was a tattoo artist, I think. And
he said that he has a guy who just has a 45-minute standing appointment every week.
Get something.
And he just comes in and he's like, do whatever you want.
No way.
Yeah. Because it does feel, I'm a person who I guess has a high tolerance of pain or an enjoyment of pain that is a bit perverted.
Do you
but
like the dentist?
I don't dislike the dentist. I'm not like jacked up to go,
If
but
there
I
are
never
people who
had
like
that
the
fear
dentist,
of
that's
dentist
crazy.
either.
I could
but-
see the tattoo liking that.
It's like
Getting your
it's like the
teeth done
best
is-
itch you've ever had. You're like, oh, I
Yeah.
didn't even know I had an itch there.
I could see that.
Yeah.
But the teeth, if you like the dentist, you're a fucking psycho.
Yeah, no, I'm not. I don't think as a kid I was ever like, no. I mean, no, not any more so than any kid who doesn't want to do something. But no, I'm not like, fuck yeah, baby. Although actually, I don't know. Not like a drilling, but a cleaning. I feel clean
good.
afterwards.
I ripped a tooth out of my kid's head this weekend.
Yeah.
My daughter had
Which
this-
one? What, like a molar or like
the
a what?
big- no, the big boy, top front left. And
How'd you do it?
so this tooth was loose enough, I think loose enough to pull out on Thanksgiving. And she was just so scared
I couldn't even figure out when. Like, I was like, what are you talking about? Thanksgiving?
months
Like,
ago,
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Months ago. It would have hurt if I did it then.
I almost
but
corrected
it
you. You
was-
said Easter.
No, yeah,
Like-
no, Thanksgiving. And so for months, I was like, baby, we gotta take it out. Like, it's ready to go. And she was complaining it was hurting, and then it was bleeding, and then it was black. This tooth, it was like not the whole thing, but it was like dead. And I was like, baby, we gotta do this. But she was so adamantly against it that I
You
was
let
like,
your kid walk around with a dead tooth for months?
no. When I found out it was
since
dead,
Thanksgiving.
when I found out it was dead, I got a text and her mom said this tooth has turned black like last night, and I said it's coming out tomorrow. And so I had to like trick her and be like, I just have to see it. Let me see it. You know what I did? I said, if you don't get it out, it's gonna get infected. And then she went, what does that mean? Infected? And then she got nervous about that.
Scary.
And I gave it a pull, but it like slipped a little bit, and then she did the rest because at that point it was just dangling. But I was like, this tooth is coming out of your fucking head, man. And then she went from like such a ball of nerves to the most excited I have ever seen her in my life. She
Yeah.
was, call mom, call dad, call grandma. We gotta tell
Uh-huh.
everybody. Like just loving it. So that's just my
Yeah, you
assignment.
pulled a dead black tooth out of her mouth. You must be very excited.
It was God. The
Mhm.
other one's like already in. I can see the new one already popping in.
That was the infected lie was one that my parents used to tell me that used to get me, and I'm not sure it's not a lie. I'm sure it's medically accurate in a sense. The like nails when I like didn't want to cut my nails, like,
You're gonna
you'll get an
get
ingrown nail,
infected.
it'll get infected. I put it to the test lately.
I was gonna say, are you a good nail guy?
No, I don't bite them. I'm good to cut. I'm easy.
I'm a nail freak. Nails and ears.
I don't
I'm
bite 'em.
constantly. I clip.
What do you
and
do with your
clean.
ears? Q-tips?
No, I got like I got like a kit.
For what? Wax?
Yeah, like they have all these different things that you can put in there to get it out. Because the Q-tip just kind of jams it in further, you know.
I know.
So
Yeah.
they have these little spirals. They have these little like hooks and scoops. I'm always cleaning my ears. I got the cleanest ears in the game, man. People who just walk around with wax freak me out. Anyway, back to Renfield. So, Nick Cage, you know,
What's being in New Orleans with Nick Cage?
Yeah, that's gotta be. Did you get a lot of time with him,
He-
or is it?
I got to do like 3 scenes with him, so I didn't get to spend a ton of time with him. But I will say he's dressed as Dracula, so like we'll be shooting a scene, and then they'll be like cut, and they have to move cameras, and we sit in our seats, but he's still fucking dressed as Dracula, and then I'll be like, I have seen Adaptation so many times, but he's still like with fangs and shit like that,
Yeah,
and we'll
yeah.
talk about his movies, and he's like incredible. He has a pet crow. Like he's everything you want Nick Cage to be. He's
A
exactly
pet
that. And I think he
crow?
lived in
What's
New
the pet
Orleans
crow's
for a
name?
long. I think he lived in New Orleans for like a long time. So he's like, I loved him, and he loved like when I improvised in our scenes. He was so into the idea of improv and was really like. So I'm a huge Nick Cage fan.
Do
The
you-
press
in that
is like the
moment-
most time I got to spend with him.
Do you just go for it, or are you like, Nick Cage? might
I
not
let the
like improv, so
director.
you
I
shut
let
my
the
mouth.
director kind of guide me because I don't want to. I want Nick to. I want to. Like it's funny. Like it's like when I was doing scenes. Of course, when with Holt, who's amazing, and Aquafina, I'm really going for it. But it's like Nick Cage has a scene where he chokes me and like lifts me up, and I was like, go for it. Like in my head, I'm like
Yeah.
turning to like this actor, and I'm like, I'm with Nick Cage. It's like I was like,
Yeah.
I'll hold on to your hand and I'll pull you back when it's too much. But like, let's see what happens. And so like, because you just like you want to show up for like these guys
Yeah.
that like. I mean, The Rock and Face Off and Con Air, it's movies that like formed us as little boys
Yeah.
and girls. So it's like, so for me, it was like, I wanted to go for it. And he was so awesome. He was so committed. He was so committed to his role. He was so 100% in. And you think after someone who's been the biggest movie star in the world, they could phone. He didn't phone a second of any take in. He was amazing.
I feel like he dresses like that normally.
Yeah.
Like his normal attire is a Dracula cape or some shit.
What was the crow's name? What's his pet crow's name?
What's what?
His pet crow's name.
I don't know. That's a great question.
Oh,
I guarantee there's an article about it. There has to
What
be
would
an article
you
about
What
it.
would you name your pet crow? It's got to be something.
If I had a pet crow, what would I name my pet crow?
Yeah.
Oh, great question.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Poe or something like that.
It's
I think
so
Brooks,
not...
maybe. I'd probably name my pet crow Brooks, like Mel Brooks. That might be fun.
Horcrux came into my head when I heard Brooks.
Horcrux?
Yeah, I've been on a Harry Potter kick. Always never stops.
Good for you, man.
What's that?
I said good for you.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm a big Harry Potter guy. The movies. Yeah, not so much.
Did you see Super Mario Brothers?
No, I can't wait though. I mean, listen, you know how much I love video game movies. Is it great?
Obviously. I'm sure you loved them before. I'm sure you really love them now.
yeah. I'm very pro video game movies right now.
me and my new mansion love video game movies. But
huge video game movie fan.
Super Mario Brothers is my son didn't want to go, and I have an inkling because I think he was a little afraid of Bowser and didn't want to say it, and was like, I don't want to go, and I had to drag him. I was like, bro, I'm not asking you to like do homework. I'm asking you to go to the Super Mario Brothers movie with me. And within 2 minutes, he stood up, put his arms over the seat of the chair in front of him, and watched on the edge of his seat and turned around and goes, this is sick. So it was like getting to watch it with my daughter and my son was like, I would have loved it anyway because it's just exactly what you want. It's got Mario Kart and Donkey Kong and like little references and Easter eggs that you love. But doing it with kids was like, this is amazing.
During pandemic, when the pandemic happened, me and 11 of my friends had a Mario Kart tournament every single week. Saturday, we got together, 12 of us, and we played online. And we would keep scores like a tournament. And after like 3 months of games, whoever had the highest whatever won a trophy and a prize. And then I would drive the prize to their house, and that person would keep the trophy to the next season. And we thought like COVID would be over quickly. But we kept playing for like a year and a half.
Yeah,
it was like, it was the best. We had the best time.
What place did you come in?
I usually was always fourth or fifth. I never was like top three.
That's the sweet spot right there, though.
Well, I think first is a sweet spot.
No, first gets cocky. You live in the middle. That's what you want to live in whole life.
I think I'd rather win.
Nah, not me.
Fourth or fifth man.
You'll absolutely love anybody who grew up in our era. Watching playing that will absolutely love it.
Speaking of cartoon movies, and I actually don't know, not cartoon, I'm sorry, video game movies. I don't know how much work you did with him because he's live action and you're not. We got Marsden coming in Wednesday. Well, you got James Marsden.
Oh, you're gonna love him. He's the best.
Yeah. He's
also one of the most attractive people you'll ever see in your entire life.
That's my concern.
When he sits down next to you, you look at him and you're like, he's so attractive.
Yeah.
That
Ben, can you see how I'm sitting on
weird.
this couch where like I have my hands in my pocket of my hoodie?
I'm constantly trying to cover my stomach.
Because I'm trying to not
like,
show how fat
let's
I am.
just sit like this so no one can see anything here.
So the idea of sitting next to James Marsden I don't love it.
Is he tall too? Is he tall? Maybe he's short. I don't know.
I don't know how tall he is. I do know he's like so nice and so kind and like a good family guy. But he just happens to look like the most beautiful person you've ever. I'm sure he's won people's. He must have at one time won people's most whatever.
He married Tina. I'm excited. I'm a big 30 Rock guy. I'm a big Parks and Rec guy. That whole Thursday night was unbelievable. But he ends 30 Rock with being Tina Fey's new husband. So only husband.
Oh really?
Yeah. They get married. I think in the last season. I know in the last season of 30 Rock. So if you can land Tina Fey, you're all right with me.
Dude, he is in this new show, Jury Duty. Have you heard about this?
I heard that they mentioned me in it. Someone told me. I got added on Twitter that they talk about me and Sonic or something like that.
Yeah, it's everyone else is an actor. There's one regular guy who thinks he's at jury duty, and that they're doing a documentary on the criminal justice process.
Yes,
and it's
improv, right?
An actor. Huh?
It's improv, right? Like everybody's improvising except
Yeah, and the guy says to him, James Marsden says like, yeah, I was in X-Men and The Notebook, and I'm in Sonic, and the guy turns to him, and he thinks it's real, and he goes, I heard that movie was a bag of shit. And then the next day he comes in for day 2 of jury duty, and he's like, I watched Sonic last night. It was great. You didn't tell me that Ben Schwartz was in it. So, yeah, you get a nice shout out.
Oh, that makes me very happy.
Yeah, it is. It's cool stuff. So, anyway, they're telling us we got to wrap it up. So, Renfield is out. Will be out by the time you listen to this? Right?
Yeah, it'll be out this Friday.
weekend.
So if this comes out Thursday, it'll be out tomorrow.
So, Renfield will be out this weekend. Go see it. And, Ben, you're always the man. Thank you so much.
And I'm going to have Kevin send you that sketch show. And if you like it, tell him. If you don't, never come on here again because I will be scared to ever face you. But
Okay, so
if you do like it, I am interested in your feedback.
Say it again?
I said, if you do like it, I am interested in your feedback.
I'm not going to give you feedback. It's your first time doing a sketch. You crazy? It's amazing that you did it.
Not feedback. But
Dude, just stop. You're gonna love it.
If I like it, you want me to tell you, is what you're saying. If I like it, you want me to tell you. Okay,
That's literally exactly what I'm saying.
Okay, great.
All right, bro.
Thanks, all right, guys. Good to see you. Have a good night, everybody.
You too, brother. Thank you so much again, as always.
All right, big thanks for watching. If you made it through this whole episode, that means you should be subscribed. There's so many of you out there who watch and don't subscribe, so make sure you are a KFC Radio subscriber. Make sure you get all the content when it drops. Click that button now.
I have 9 fingers. I'm still subscribed. It's that easy.